So how long do you guys want to just chill in this area before you go do much?
Is there anyone else still at the campfire? Anyone that's been quiet or anything like
Yeah.
that?
The guy who thought he recognized Galileus has been quiet since that point. I just kind of been sitting quietly thinking.
Hmm. I lean over to him and say, "What's your story, sir? Penny for your thoughts."
He
And I
kind
throw him a beer.
of he lets it kind of like splash over him and fall to the ground. As he looks at you, he
Aw.
just goes, "I'm one of the rear strategists for
I bet
I
you
laugh.
are.
I
I
forgot his
laugh
name."
and say, "That's what your mom called me."
Says I'm one of the rear strategists for Mondath. So I aid in planning strategic advances and retreats. Um, I I mostly watched from the hill. I followed her commands and was observed all that I could see. My job is to learn.
How does one come by your job? We're but lowly mercenaries. How does one get a job such as yours?
The only way to truly be in Moondath's circle, so to speak, is to be a true follower of Tiamat. Hail Tiamat! And as he says that, he extends his hand, but two of his fingers he holds in slightly, so you only see.
I repeat the gesture and say, "Hail Tiamat." I can't even do that. How do you?
Bend these two fingers. The other fingers go straight. Yep.
Alright, that's just inappropriate.
And
Hail
so,
Tiamat.
kind of as you do that, he just kind of shakes his head, and he goes, "It seems like we are getting more and more lax in who we allow to join us these days."
Hmm.
Presuming Aranor is wandering about where his character is. Um,
That would be correct.
yeah. So Aranor, you can see that there's some more tents up in this area. These are all human tents. The guy who had walked away, he's going over towards this group of tents here. Um, and then you can see where, yep, you can see. So over here, there are four very well-armed, strong humans um, holding chains that are going to links around some necks of the prisoners as they are hammering stone with pickaxes.
Can you ping that again, Brian? I didn't see that pop up.
Yeah, neither did I.
Alright, that's because I needed to do... I have the wrong tool selected, that is why.
Hmm.
So I've been drawing in an area you cannot see instead of revealing an area.
Okay, I have dark vision.
So in this area here, um,
So down in that area, is there something other than the prisoner, like a mess tent or something
all you can
like that?
yeah, all you can see in that area is the
Excuse.
prisoners working with the chains, and then the four dragon. What do they call them? The guards.
Half dragons?
Dragonborn?
It's just a title. You can tell they're humans, but the guy at the camp had given them a fancy name.
Okay. I'm going to catch the tiefling turned into a human's eye, and
Dragon claws.
Kinda-
That's what the guy at the camp called them.
I'm going to catch Vendetta's attention and bring him, kind of just say, "Look, I found the prisoners you were interested in work."
Oh, yeah. So, are there any other initiates or, what do you call them, the mercenaries around just kind of watching that, or not really?
No, in that area, all you can see are the four dragon claws. It looks like everyone else has been keeping fairly careful of that area. Um, Then as you kind of scan back towards the north, you can see on top of kind of an outcrop there is another tall wooden watchtower. It's the one that you had seen from the plateau as well as you were walking around the horseshoe.
Oh, I see it now. Okay. So, there's. Did you say how many there were specifically?
How many people?
How many prisoners there were?
Oh, here?
Working with the chains and stuff.
Yeah, there are the 4 guards and there are 2 prisoners per guard, so you can see 8 prisoners.
So is this a camp devoted to some sort of like breaking up of minerals and stuff, or is it just a camp that they happen to find some work for them to do?
As far as you can tell, there doesn't seem to be much of a purpose, but you don't know what kind of rocks they're hammering on. They could be gold or they could be granite.
So I'll tell the guys that I'm sitting around the fire with that I need to go use the head and start walking off straight south.
Okay.
And try and get a look around, like this, what this green stuff is, and then also at the back wall, kind of get a lay of what the terrain is like.
Okay, so as you get closer to the wall, the sun is starting to get a bit lower, so the shadows are getting longer. This is mostly just kind of some taller, not super tall trees, like we're not talking, like redwoods, about 15-foot trees that kind of separate the camps, so they feel they're a bit more private in their friend groups.
8 foot's a little too high.
Yep.
Okay.
And then on the back walls, you can look up and you can see there are still some small caves on this side as well, dotting the plateaus. Again,
Okay.
these don't look any larger than the ones on the outside.
Okay. Well, I'll continue to follow along that back wall to kind of delay my return and head back.
Okay. As you return, they just kind of like nod as you approach.
I return the nod. So I'll ask them, it's like, so you guys got any more good stories about working here with the rest of these camps and stuff?
The talkative guy, he kind of looks at you and he's just like, all I have, friend, are stories. All I have. Which of them are true is up to you. And he toasts himself. You can see the other guy.
I give like a slight fake laugh at that.
Yep. And he goes, well, I mean, working here, it's as good as working anywhere. Not all of us are as devoted as our friend here towards the Dragon Queen. And as he says that, the guy who is talking about the Dragon Queen again kind of raises his hand forward and is just like, praise Tiamat. And he's like, but I mean, it gives us food, it gives us drink, and it keeps us plenty of action to enjoy battles. Unfortunately, there are the kobolds, but where people worship dragons, you'll find kobolds worshipping as well. What can you say? Comes with the territory.
So I asked him, I was like, well, we're sort of new to the camp yet, being mercenaries. You had mentioned that you were kind of light on the prisoner count with our latest attack. What is your typical take on prisoners?
The small villages don't have much defenses, and so it's fairly easy to wrangle in a group of 10 or 11. They don't last too long, and then they're taken to the nursery. But that's their main reason, let's be honest.
The nursery's where again? And they're further back in the camp?
You clearly are new to have not had...
Yeah. Sorry, I'm still getting a lay of the land yet.
Yeah, the nursery, it's the cave in the back. Have fun get too close and, well, you'll be the next one taken there. And he kind of has a deep chuckle. Resmir doesn't like people near her nursery.
I completely understand with that. I have no intentions on going anywhere close to Resmir or that cave then.
That's wisdom, that is. And he
I,
takes
I,
another swig.
I do not wish to anger anybody who is my employer.
Well said. I can drink to that. And he takes another gulp before filling his mug for the far too manyth time. Meanwhile, the guy who's been thinking this whole time kind of looks back towards you and he says, "You too look familiar. Too familiar," he says, and he kind of stands up and starts reaching for a blade at his belt.
To me?
Yeah, addressing Keithan.
I stand up and was like, "So, sir, there's no need for this. Please sit." And I sit back down. It's like I am a human. I'm sure we all look alike. Just trying to like ease the tension as good.
And then I say, "Hail Tiamat!"
As Twidget does that, the devoted guy kind of puts his hand out again, and he just kind of the Tiamat's strength forever, praise Tiamat's glory, and you know, the guy, he kind of eases his grip. His hand is still on his blade, but he eases his grip and he just says, "Were you present at the final challenge with Scion Wrath?"
No, I was down by the mill at the time.
He kind of nods and he goes, "I had heard the mill was defeated."
It was. I was on a like a small little scouting point of verifying that information. Then I ended up heading back up into the northern part of town, there on the west end, before we got the okay to leave the town. Then I started heading back this way.
He kind of nods and he's like, "Oh, so you were part of the scouts troop."
Yeah.
That would explain why you two seem familiar. The scouts always come to our encampments to let us know what was happening.
Yeah, that had to be it. I never saw you or caught your name. What is your name?
They call me Randalon. Randalon. I need to come up with a cool title, but
The dog slayer.
The Gwyffin Wida.
The Vizier of Rear.
He
So I break in at that point and say, "Scouts, was that who I saw leaving the camp shortly before we came in? I was wondering if there were some deserters."
He kind of chuckles.
Heading out to the plains.
Yep, he chuckles and he's like, "Well, if there were deserters, this would be the only chance they would have of getting past any guards before they were killed. But no, those were the hunters heading to find food for our leaders and potentially the nursery."
So I tell him, I was like, it's very nice to meet you. My name is Dwayne.
Dwayne.
Yes.
Nice to meet you, Dwayne. It's a very solid, rocky name.
Yeah, exactly.
Dwayne.
What color are what's his name's robes?
The rear guard,
Yeah, the Vizier of Rear.
Grandalon. He is not wearing any robes. He's just wearing very casual tunic and light
Like
pants.
jeans and a sweater or something.
He's got a pop collar that's way too.
He actually has two popped collars.
Nice.
Yes, he's doubled down on the pop collar.
Yeah. And kind of looking around, you notice most of the people, very few of them are still wearing any form of armor. Most of them are just in light tunics and.
I look around and try to fit in a little better. I'd start to pop my collar too.
The cultist kind of looks at you and he's just like, "You catch on quick."
How can I join further in the ranks of Tiamat beyond a basic mercenary role? I ask him.
Yeah, again, the guy who had previously handed a pamphlet to Vendetta pulls another pamphlet out and hands it to you. And he's like, "Well, we worship, of course, the Dragon Queen. To Tiamat's glory!
Hail, Tiamat!
Yep. But ultimately, we must prove our true loyalties to Resmir, the Black. Of course, she's the mother of our tribe, as you surely know, the half-black dragon. She decides who and when levels up based on our loyalties. Just a week ago is when I finally became taking my first steps as an initiate. And the other guys around the campfire roll their eyes, and they're all just like, "I'm still surprised you fell into this, man. We signed up for gold, not for whatever you have."
Glory?
And he just kind of tosses them a look like, "Someday you'll understand." But surely if you stick around long enough, and if you are truly dedicated to the dragon's cause, Resmir, one of those under her, perhaps Monrath or Cyanzareth will see your deeds and reward you.
I ask him, who's your next in rank?
Above me, you mean?
Yes. Who do you report to?
You guys are making me come up with names on the spot tonight.
Suck it, DM.
He's like, I report to Thumpkin, one of the magenta-robed, one step below the purple matron of Monrath, who is the only one below Resmir, almost beside Cyanrath. But Thumpkin is currently teaching me the ways of the dragon.
Where is Thumpkin?
Thumpkin would be in the far back encampments where we keep the special prisoners, if you will. It's where the people directly below our leaders get to lodge. And he points off to the southeast and beyond the prisoners.
Special prisoners? Well,
I should very much... Go ahead.
Special prisoners, how do they get the special treatment?
Well, to be a special prisoner, generally it means you attempted to flee for some reason, unbeknownst to us. There has been recently. This was fantastic. A man tried to embed himself with us, a half elf, nonetheless. Very few half elves, of course, are loyal to our cause. There's maybe less than 10 in the camp. But a half elf tried to embed himself to spy on us, but we of course caught him out, and he's set for execution.
At that, I sneer and I'm like, "They're almost as bad as full elves," and I give a good laugh.
He kind of nods his agreement, and he goes, I have nothing against half elves myself, but for some reason, not many of them see the glory in dragons.
He must have clearly underestimated Tiamat's power.
Oh, so many do.
Hail Tiamat!
Yeah, I was gonna say, and hail Tiamat as well.
Everybody.
Even the guys who are kind of just like teasing him, they start putting their hands out whenever Tiamat said, kind of jokingly.
Yeah. So I'll move over to Grandalon, go sit over next to him, and ask him, so, what are our future plans here in the next couple days?
As far as I know, we are going to get as much treasure from this region as we can, and then we will head north to where other cults will be gathering as we attempt to bring in the righteousness that is Tiamat. Hail Tiamat! Resmir, of course, has her own plans with the nursery and all, but you need higher classifications than new people like you would have to.
Oh, no, I have no doubt about that. Don't want to dwell where you're not allowed.
Of course.
That's a fast path to getting killed.
A friend who joined with me learned that far too quickly. His loss will be mourned, but it was understand.
At that comment, I said, "So has the whole brood hatched at this point?"
He kind of looks at you puzzled, and he's like,
I just assumed there were still some unhatched eggs at this point.
He kind of looks around at you guys, and he's like, how long have you been at the camp? You already know about the brood.
Well, you've
been talking about the nursery.
You've been talking about the nursery, and you said that they were bringing in meat for the hatchery.
he kind of laughs and he looks at the others around the campfire. He's like, it took this lot more than 2 weeks to realize what the nursery was for. At which point, the guy who's been hailing Tiamat this whole time kind of looks down and he goes, I was focused on learning the way of the dragons, not deciphering riddles.
I laugh really loud and bring up my drink and go, a strange brew indeed.
But then he goes, but matter of fact, to my knowledge, none of the brood has hatched yet. Resmir is doing whatever it is dragons do to speed along the process. But I am not allowed towards the nursery, so...
I said, oh, my mistake. I just assumed you said that they were storing or bringing all this. I thought he said that they were bringing game for the hatchery. Maybe there's defenses in the hatchery.
And he's like, I'm not sure what happens in there. I go no further than the strategical meetings, which reminds me, we have another tonight. I should be going. And he stands up and starts walking kind of over in this direction.
So he's going to a strategic meeting with, what was his, Thumpkin?
Thumpkin, yeah.
So I asked him, so this Thumpkin, can I meet him to see if I can join?
Perhaps.
Or is it not the right time?
Yeah, this would not be the right time. Perhaps tomorrow. I will
ask him for a description of what he looks like so I can make sure I recognize him.
Yep, he is a human, a fairly tall yet skinny man. Very long, graying beard. Fairly short hair. He often carries many daggers around his belt, which I don't know why. I've never seen him use a dagger, or any blade for that matter. He is much more adept with the casting of spells.
So, he's on his way to go to a meeting about tactics, is that right?
Yes.
So, I could use my alter self guys to take his place. Do we want to try to sneak away to take him out?
No.
No?
Okay. Not in the middle of a very large camp.
Okay.
So as Barry starts, or Mendez starts getting like this twinkle in his eye for killing something, I just kind of, no. just hold off. What's the sunlight at right now? Has it gotten dark yet?
Yeah, it's the sun is just beginning to crest the horizon. You can tell, especially with the geography of the area, it'll be dark within the next probably 30, 45 minutes.
Okay. So the serious one has left, correct?
Yep, the serious one left with, I guess I should also have specified, he left, partnered him and the guy who had been the rear strategist, those two. So the guy who had been telling you about Tiamat and the rear strategist both left.
Okay. So all the people that are left are the drunk, talky ones.
Yep.
Good. Okay. So I'm going to ask our friendly talky guys, so what do you know about the special prisoners that we have here? They kind of interest me.
No. One of them says, to my knowledge, there's only one special prisoner left. They are always executed the morning after they are discovered. But the current one, he tried to join us on our way back from camp before he was taken. I believe he's changed to a pole somewhere.
I laugh a little too loud and go, ha ha, the fool!
And he just kind of nods, joining you in your laughter. And he goes, I would like to hear his story. What madness must a man be struck with to think he could spy in our camp?
I think you should have one lash for every person here in the camp.
He kind of nods and he goes, I like what you're thinking.
Indeed. Anyone want some raw roast pig? It's a delicacy.
Oh, I'll take some.
Yeah.
It's not the first time I've ate it.
So gross.
Each of the guys around the fire kind of reach out and grab some.
Now he's out.
He's slowly gonna poison the entire camp.
So I'll keep going with the idle conversation for probably about an hour after sundown to where it's really starting to get dark.
Yep. I mean, as it gets fairly dark, you know, they kind of are all at this point fairly inebriated, and they're just like, it's time to turn in. I can guarantee tomorrow's not going to be a fun morning. One of the guys kind of nods, and he's like, I have watch duty. That's going to suck.
I tell him, I was like, I've got an easy remedy for watch duty in the mornings when you've been heavily drinking.
I would love to hear this remedy.
I lean over and grab another mug of ale. I was like, don't stop.
Even.
He nods and he's like, I like
Brian?
the way you think. Yep.
I've been letting them do their social thing and that interrupting,
Yep.
but I'm still walking around the camp, generally in the direction that they were
Okay.
indicating the special prisoners were.
Yep. All right. So I mean, while they're still talking, you're moving about the cabin. So I mean, as you kind of come up over towards this area here, following around, you can kind of observe. Reveal. Yeah, so as you're already aware, the prisoners are in this section here. In this area, kind of far tucked in the back, you can tell they're much more composed humans, talking and discussing. They aren't drinking or, you know, being as ridiculous. But then off in this little green patch here, you see there is a man stripped. Everything above the waist has just been taken off of him, and he is hanging with his hands above him tied to a pole. How far are you away?
When you would happen to be Wood Elf.
From your distance, 215 feet, you can't really tell. How close would you like to get to find out?
So the camp that's just to the east of me?
This one here?
Yep. How raucous is that?
These are humans as well, also in kind of just traditional garb. They are sitting around fires as well, eating, joking, and talking, but none of them seem to be super drunk or anything. They clearly didn't steal a giant keg of mead.
Okay, I'll kind of just wander through that particular area to right about, let's say, here.
Okay. You know, people kind of nod and wave at you as you walk by, but
And
none of them
I'll
address
nod
you.
and I've listened enough to the Hail Tiamat stuff from the other campfire. I know what the responses are if I do get it.
Yeah, but you get a few kind of, you know, people just like, Hail Tiamat! Praise Tiamat's glory! And every time you do, in this area, almost everyone around this area echoes, a Hail Tiamat! Whenever it happens. You almost feel like you're at a sporting event.
Okay.
Do you goose step as you say Hail Tiamat?
Alright, so as you get to the end of that encampment, you are close enough to see that this man most definitely is a wood elf.
Okay.
You can also see when you get there. I have the wrong tool selected again. The same icon is used for polygon line and polygon reveal.
Where was the brood again? Never mind.
There's a visible cave there
That's-
rather than those little ones that were.
Yeah, so as you get to this area,
Cave,
kind of
yep.
where you can see him, you can see there's this giant tent area And there are 2 guards in full, like, regalia standing in front of the opening. And there's a banner flying outside, clearly more important than the other areas. And then you can clearly see a giant cave opening. And in front of the cave opening, there are 4 guards in the same gear as those guarding the prisoners, likely dragon claws as well.
Gotcha. I'm gonna wander back to the campfires, grab myself a piece of food.
Mhm.
You know, kind of give me something to do with my hands.
Yep.
But I look like we're back that found a wood elf. Doesn't appear to be in the best condition, and he's out in the open.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I would like to try and not just announce it in front of the drunken fire.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can kind of like get back to them just as the sun is getting down, and people are starting to turn in. So you kind of like arrive back to them as the guy is like, "Oh, I have guard duty in the morning," and at which point,
Duty.
after Keithan makes his joke about keep drinking, he fills his mug up once more, chugs it quickly, and then turns into walking into one of the tents. The others following shortly thereafter. One of them saying, "Don't forget to piss out the fire before you call it a night."
Agree.
So at this point, it's just you guys sitting around the fire now.
Okay. Brian, wood elf. Brian, wood elf by the tree.
Do we know where our friend went? The quiet one?
He told you that he was going to a strategical meeting.
We just know it's off to the east somewhere.
Yep. You kind of lost him as he walked through this camp. So you don't know if he stopped there or if he kept going.
Hey, Brian?
Yep.
Okay. Had
There we go.
because you couldn't hear me.
Yep, that would
The
explain
wood
it.
elf.
Yep. So he's just standing there tied to a pole, all pretty like.
Okay. So I actually was the one that I think grabbed the amulet to help us identify ourselves to him,
Okay.
and
Do we
I'm gonna
want to
have
do
that
yet?
around my neck. I have my piece of food or whatnot. I'm gonna saunter out to him, and basically what I'd like to do is just slap him like I'm just kind of abusing him, while pulling open my shirt and showing him the amulet, trying to keep that as keep my body between myself and any guards.
Yeah.
So you had made your way all the way back to our camp, correct?
I was coming back to let you know.
Okay, so if you let us know, I would go with you.
Okay, I'll let you know, but that's my plan.
We probably all
Okay.
should go, shouldn't we?
Yeah.
That was the point. Is I was basically having idle talk until the evening. So now that it's dark and people are turning in, I will bid my farewells and say I want to take a quick walk before bed.
Mm-hmm. Yep, they all kind of just wave you away.
I wave with the Tiamat
No.
sign.
So are you all going as a group to abuse the prisoner then, or how do you proceed?
Or at least watch. I'll probably watch from a decent distance away so that it doesn't look like I'm just like part of
I think
this.
I'm gonna go down to the P area and maybe just see what I can see, but stealth up and stick to the shadows.
Well, this
Okay.
is, that I marked there was for where the prisoners are working, right?
Yep.
I assume that now it's dark, they're not.
Maybe.
Maybe? Maybe not. Because I thought they said that they...
Yeah. If you went over there, you could find out.
I don't know.
Yep, that's where I'm going.
I'm gonna stay about here while Aranor does his thing.
Okay.
So that I can provide assistance if things go south.
Okay. Well, as Twidget kind of comes down towards the prisoners, he can see that at this point there's only one guard remaining. The other three have since gone elsewhere. And the prisoners are all he can see they're chained outside of one of the big tents to a giant pole where they're just lying there sleeping or attempting to sleep.
Where's the area where they're attempting to sleep?
It's kind of like in the center of all these tents. And then there's one guard kind of standing off over here.
All right, and there's 3 of them down here.
Prisoners?
No, the guards sleeping.
Presuming they're sleeping, you only see the 8 prisoners chained here and 1 guard here. There were 4 guards, so you're not sure where the other 3 are. They could be in a tent, they could be playing poker, they could be in the nursery, they could be at the arcade.
Okay. Well, I walk over here and inform the others that are abusing the prisoner what's going on there.
So kind of as you're approaching is when Gabriel would hit him and open to show the amulet. Give me a deception check, Aranor.
Alrighty. You got this, man. Give me a second. Since I'm on one screen, it takes me a little longer to get the skills I don't have hot slotted.
Yep.
I'm also going to be sizing up his height in case I need to find somebody to replace him with.
Okay.
And I don't know whether it's an unconscious person, dead person, I don't really care. I want to know what his height is at least so I can find somebody who's a close facsimile.
Yeah. So 18, you clearly, by someone looking on the outside, you're just having fun with the guy who's chained up. But he sees the amulet and just instant recognition crosses his face.
I will then motion him to be silent.
Okay.
I'll cover up the amulet again.
Yeah.
Man, I really wish I had that cantrip to let me whisper with somebody like for long distances away.
Called Whisper.
Message.
Oh, curses.
150 feet.
Yeah.
So I would like to do a medicine check to see how well he is doing.
Yeah. Okay. Well, first off, Vendetta, you can tell he's roughly average height for a wood elf. So probably like just over 5'5", 5'6" ish. And then Keithan, do you want to give me a medicine check?
Bam. Nice.
Yeah, you can tell that he has been severely, worse for the wear. It looks like he hasn't been fed. He hasn't drunk. His lips are chapping. He looks very weak. You can see in his eyes that his will is strong, but his body is broken.
My lips are.
I'll look to Aranor and ask, do you have Goodberry?
Yep. How far is he down, Brian?
I'm numerically.
Is he bloodied?
I mean, he's trying to think how to real lifealize this.
I would assume that he is probably on this side of being conscious. He's probably dehydrated, so he may be a little bit loopy.
He's probably single-digit hit points.
He's probably at a stage 2 exhaustion.
Because I'm not just going to say, hey, he's at this many hit points, because you wouldn't know his.
Okay.
But, you can tell he's. You can tell he's definitely worse for the wear, but he's not bleeding profusely or anything. It doesn't look like he's going to bleed out anytime soon.
I'll give him one good berry and see how he feels. That should give him nourishment for a full day, as well as heal him 1 health.
Yep. So I mean,
he looking good.
He kind of takes it begrudgingly, but he realizes he kind of needs the aid, and he just kind of gives you a nod and a slight smile.
So as they're doing that, I'll stand and the way of vision to try and block as many people as possible.
Alright. Which side do you want to stand on?
I'm
Yeah, I was gonna say I'll stand with my back towards the big tent, probably.
I'm watching that one especially.
Okay.
So again, I tell the group in a hushed tone that there's only one guard over by the other prisoners.
Okay. I'm honestly wondering if we don't want to dress him up as, say, me. Leave me here, bound up to the tree, and at some convenient point I will wild shape and spider climb out of here once you guys are out.
How many wild shapes do you
That
get?
actually was something I was trying to think of too, is how we could
It's actually
use
pretty
this
sweet.
close wall to our advantage.
You could do something small like a mouse, right? And then you can turn it into something that can actually climb out decently.
I've got one wild shape left.
Oh.
So I would either wild shape into a wolf spider or a
so-
spider.
So I have a
Or a bird
disguise
that can just
kit.
fly away.
I have a disguise kit, and there is a guard over here, a perfectly good guard that could be knocked unconscious.
That could probably be good enough, couldn't it?
Yeah, I just don't want to leave the post empty while you guys are still trying to escape out.
Well, we could. tell them
I don't
about
think
that.
we'd leave it empty. I think we'd take the guard and drop him there, right?
Okay.
We could take the guard over after we knock him out or something. We could take him with us all weekend.
Are the heights about right, Brian?
The guard is a bit taller, but not drastically, just a few inches.
They won't know it's dark.
It's true.
So
And if
I'll
he's
make my
slouched
way.
over.
All racist,
I'll
all
I'll-
racist I say. It's just a bunch of humans.
Okay.
I'll tell both
Hey,
Aaron and
I'm just going to point out that this guy is probably the main focus of like any type of watchful eyes. Maybe we should try to create some type of diversion
Yeah.
if we were going to be trying to exchange bodies. Because I'm going to imagine that dragging a guard, tying up a guard while releasing a prisoner is not exactly going to look like beating up a prisoner.
Yeah.
So we could cause a
Maybe
we could
good
cause a
bonfire
ruckus in the
somewhere, setting a tent on fire, something like that.
yeah we could
So-
cause a ruckus in
Illusion.
the area where they had the keg, right? I mean, we could set a tent on fire there. Seems believable.
another thing is it is dark. How easy is it to see this direction?
Well, my point is, especially if it gets dark, is if you create a bonfire somewhere, the bonfire itself, while making it very light where it is, causes it to be even darker where it is not.
Yes,
Because of how bright it is in contrast to the darkness elsewhere.
but I'm saying if we're going to do a distraction, why don't we make it the best that we can and do a body switch at the same time?
That's
Do
what
a
I'm saying.
distraction and then get everybody out at once.
Well, that's what I'm
You guys are in
saying.
violent
Yeah.
agreement.
I'm saying distraction and switch needs to happen at the same time, so we're creating the diversion so they're not looking while we're doing the switch.
Sounds good. We have 3 minutes. Let's do it.
I'll tell them, it's like, do we want to get the prisoner that's on guard, or do we want to try and get one of the drunks that may have been passed out?
You
If
know,
we
the
take
drunk might be easier, but it would be a farther drag to get the person there.
If we take out the guard, though, we have the potential of getting the other prisoners as well.
Also true.
I was assuming getting them with the distraction, possibly.
Oh, and then just kill the guard?
Yeah.
Couldn't we just kill the guard anyway, drag him over, droop him against the thing?
Well, if we don't kill him in one round and he's actually watching, is my thing. We may
Yeah,
cause a diversion prematurely.
We could all ready in action, I would think, and
Thing is, who can actually do a readied action that's stealthy? Barry, you really can't. I
Me?
really can't.
I'm trained.
got 3.
I think we could probably get away better with a drunk guy. And
Okay.
if he is truly drunk, we could actually have him walk over here, too. And convince him to come with us and not actually kill him.
And everybody's in this
true.
tent. You could just coup de grace them while they're sleeping too,
Exactly.
Okay.
which I would totally do.
Alright, so
Brian, I
Whisper-
sent you a whisper.
Yeah, for some reason I'm getting an able to find player character named Aaron or response. But there you detect. I'm getting a weird response for some reason when I try to message it, but there is no magic that you can detect.
Okay, I'd also like to check the vicinity of the pole / the wood elf for more conventional traps or alarm systems.
Do you want to give me a perception check?
21.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like there is not much in the sense of alarms or traps. They clearly, you would presume they think they're pretty safe within their encampment.
Okay. How heavy is a wood elf? It's less than 100 pounds, isn't it? I mean, elves are fairly slight.
But wood elves are made out of wood, so it should be lighter.
Ooh, true.
If it floats,
So-
yes.
Another question. This guard tower up here,
Mhm.
while I'm over here with my dark vision, can I see much going on up there? Or, I mean, is it far enough away that, assuming they're human, they probably won't be able to see what's going on very well down there?
Yeah. Well, first off, nothing here do I have vital stats for his height and weight. So we're going to say, yeah, he's probably about, low hundreds, if that. He's very slight for a wood elf, being a monk. And then the guard tower, I mean, I guess you have night vision, so you can tell that there is someone up there. But again, yeah, if it's a human, they probably wouldn't be able to see that far in the dark.
Yeah, I'm just using the dark vision to determine whether, if I can see really well what's going on up there, then they can see what's going on.
Yeah, I mean,
What if-
you can make out that someone's there, but like you can't see a ton of features. I mean, you're looking over 400 feet. No,
Right,
that's
so-
not true. You're about 300 feet.
If I can see that, then they can see that whether we're moving or not. So we just need to stay kind of calm in our movements, not like rush around and look like we're darting around and stuff.
Okay, so what is your dark vision, Vendetta?
It's probably not enough to see that far.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's only 60 feet.
Yeah, so I mean, with your dark vision, you wouldn't be able to even see to the tower, so likely they wouldn't be able to see you guys.
Right, and I just assumed that they wouldn't be able to see any better than I would.
Oh, definitely not. Presuming they are mostly human.
But even if they're not, I mean, they'd have to
Yeah.
have some special abilities to be able to see better than that.
So.
I think most humans don't have anything
Nope.
better than that.
So how do you guys choose to proceed? We're at 10, but we're nearing the end of this episode, so I'd like to see if we can wrap it up before we have to call it a night.
Okay, executive decision. I'm getting a drunk guy.
All right, so Keithan, I mean, he's the big guy that could carry people anyways.
Yep. So I'll go see if that loudmouth drunk is passed out around the fire, or anything, or if
Yeah.
he's still sitting around there.
Yeah.
Can I advocate for a quiet mouth
Ethan?
drunk?
Oh, that's very true. I'll get a quiet mouth drunk.
Yeah, so I mean,
Keithan?
as you get back to the fire, you can tell the fire's kind of smoldering. There's no one around it. But recalling which tent that they kind of went in, you can peek in and see they are all totally out cold.
I'll go up to one, kind of give him a slight little tap
Mhm.
on the foot, like as if I'm tripping, and see if he does anything.
He kind of like rolls over in his sleep, kind of aware something happened, but not enough to rouse them.
I'll try a different one.
Hey, Keithan.
Basically until I find one that does
Yeah.
not move when I kick them.
At about the third person that you hit, like their head falls over, but that's the vibration from when you hit them that makes their head tilt.
I'll take that one.
Okay. So do you just
Okay,
like pick him up and like fireman carry him, or?
So I'm gonna pick him up, throw his arm over the shoulder, and kind of stagger walk with him
Mm-hmm.
out and around,
Okay.
and make it look like we're both kind of drunk going for a stroll.
Okay.
Kinda burns.
All right. Yep. So you're able to get back without him coming awake.
Okay. So I take him all the way up to the post and tell him, like, okay, go get into positions if you're going to make a distraction.
Where do we want to cause this distraction?
I would advocate that we maybe shoot an arrow up at the guard tower, thus disturbing them as they're trying to put out the fire. If we set the tent on fire, and all eyes will be up in the aerial area versus down on the ground. So anything could be happening on the ground.
And do we
So
want that,
this
or do
will-
we want the kobolds to be in a chatter or something?
Huh?
I think we should blow up kobolds because if we shoot a fire arrow up to the guard post, they're gonna know something really is up. If we set a fire at the kobolds might have been mistaken.
But the guard tower will be able to see what's going on the ground and see other folks moving.
I doubt they can see
Suspiciously.
anything anyways because they're 100 feet up in the air and it's pitch and it's dark.
Okay.
So I'm not too worried with the guard tower personally.
Okay.
I just don't want to be that big of a distraction. I'd like for
Yeah.
most of the camp to stay asleep if we can.
Okay.
Exactly.
So while that's going on, who's taking care of the guard and trying to get the other prisoners, or are we leaving them behind? I would like to save them as well, but it's not required.
Yeah, probably.
It's bonus points.
So, quick question: how are we getting the half elf out of here?
Okay, well, if you guys want to charge out, we can always throw him on a horse who actually is a druid and then go. But I'm
Nice.
thinking something more stealthy is in order.
Yeah. What's the condition of the other prisoners, not the guy chained up?
The 8 prisoners back at the prisoner camp
Yeah.
area.
Down the P.
From what you were able to gather when you kind of were sneaking around, they seem to be much better off than he is. At least 5 of them are. 3 of them look like they're on death's door. You wouldn't
What's
be at
that?
all surprised if they didn't make it through the night.
Okay.
So how many guards are there down here? Do we know? One?
There's 1. At least 1 that you can see.
So can we? Do we have any, like a pipe or something? I could just ask him for a light. I don't know.
I mean, wouldn't it be easiest to just have someone talking to him and then have me sneak up behind and
Yep.
attack?
Stab in the kidneys. Yep. Let's just do that.
Sneak attack style?
Also, what color were the robes that we had gotten?
Red.
Dang it. Okay.
Did we not get the
Could be
one
black.
purple robe?
We had one purple, I thought.
Oh, yeah, 1 purple?
Yeah, I originally thought they were all purple, but it makes sense that most of them are red.
I was hoping for black. Okay.
It fits so nice as if I keep it.
Alright, so is one of you approaching that guard then?
Anyone?
Yeah. So right now we have the half elf with us. We've
Have we
that
made the switch? Have we made the distraction?
Are we going to do the distraction, or are we going to save the
I think we
distraction?
should just do it without their distraction and try to keep everything as low down as we can.
I think
Now,
that's
do we want to try to do another wall scale, do another wolf spider rope, and try to get everybody out over?
Nope. I
No.
think we look cocky as hell and walk out. And if they kobolds challenge us at all, we give them the.
The finger without the extra 2 hits.
Pretty much as soon as we get over here, then we go through the camp of the humans, and then we act like we own the place, and it'll be
Yep.
easier as we further get out because it sounds like the kobolds are worthless scum.
So
Are the
I wanna make
prisoners
sure-
chained up?
The biggest
Yeah.
challenge is the humans that are up in this other area to the east.
Can I do a perception check to see if the guard has the key?
How close are you willing to get to the guard?
Well, I snuck up behind him. Hopefully someone's in front of him, about ready to talk to him. At that point, I would like to do a perception check.
It's like you're approaching like you're going to converse.
No, I am behind him, actually. He doesn't
you're
see
behind
me
him.
yet. I'm in the shadows. Yeah.
I will start walking up to him, and then
Okay.
what's his face can Twidgy can go around.
Yep, give me perception.
D20 R01 plus 2. Not bad.
Okay, yeah, you can tell hanging off his belt there's a small chain of keys.
Okay.
Okay. I think we're still going with the plan that we're going to take him out, though, right?
Yep.
So are we go time right now? Or what kind of distraction? Any distraction? None? You guys going to take care of the thing here? We're going to switch it with this dead guard, or we're going to switch it with that drunk?
So I'm thinking we already switched him out, and
Okay.
we started moving back.
Okay.
Is that fair enough?
Sure.
And then we're going to pick up these prisoners as we approach back that direction.
Yep. And then I will start talking to him, and then Twidget can...
Yep. What do you say to the guy? Just for some fun role play.
I whisper or he's like a loud whisper, so I'm excited about it, but still trying to stay quiet so everybody stays asleep. And I tell him, "Hail Tiamat," and I do the thing with the fingers.
Then I rapier him.
And sure, you can start doing that if you want.
Yep. I mean, as you do that, he does kind of a half-hearted, hail Tiamat.
I start going into spiel about I was here to check on the status of the prisoners because there was some questions about them or something. But it sounds like you're already killing them, so go for it.
Yeah, would I have... That's weird.
What's weird?
It says 13, but it was 18 that I rolled, plus a 2.
That's the damage, isn't it? Oh, no.
That is weird.
You rolled 2 dice, but they were both 8s. Plus 3, plus 2.
But it says 18 on the side thing.
That was your other thing. That was your perception check.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Your rapier attack was 13, and then it would have done a damage of 13 if it hit.
Okay. Alright.
So your attack hits, and you do 13 damage. So yeah, so
Okay.
I mean, you just kind of come up behind him, and you just grab Rapier right through the back, and he just drops dead.
Nice.
Thank
Okay,
goodness.
so grab his armor off. We're going to use that as a disguise, correct? For the elf we're
Okay.
trying to rescue?
Alright, I signal that to Vendetta, but I grab the keys myself, and I make my way over to the prisoners while Vendetta grabs his armor off.
Well, I'm not going to take his armor off now. I'm going to grab him, the whole corpse, and bring him with us to the prisoners because we're going to take his body and put it in the cell.
Okay.
And then we'll take care of taking the armor off and stuff in the cells and stuff.
Alright, so I start unlocking the prisoners, I tell them to be quiet, tell them to, act normal, as normal as they could be, but quiet. The ones that are unable to lift themselves up, I leave behind.
Okay.
How many prisoners are total?
There's a total of 8. 5 of them look fairly well off. 3 of them look like they could die in the night.
I give the weapons of the guard to one of the... How many weapons are on the guard, out of curiosity?
He has 2 daggers and 1 longsword.
Alright, I give a dagger to one, a dagger to another, and then a longsword to another. The well-off ones, obviously.
Alright.
Okay. And then we throw the corpse into the middle of where the prisoners were, along with the 3 ones that probably aren't able to move.
Wait, hang on. Weren't we using the corpse to stand up in place of the wood
Drunk.
elf?
Oh, that was a drunk.
Drunk.
Oh, we used the drunkard.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Alright, then gather the prisoners up here at the waypoint, waiting for you guys. And I kind of signal for you guys to meet up here.
Alright, so you guys are planning on just walking out like you own the place?
Yeah, I'm wondering how we do that with prisoners now, though. With the
Hey.
one guy, it was good, but with the others, I'm not sure.
Because
Here's an
I'm
idea.
more thinking we follow along this wall and try
Nah.
to sneak out past the drunks.
Walk out confidently. How about this? I'll turn myself into, big Clydesdale type thing, and we put burlap sacks over each of these prisoners' heads and just drape them over the horse like we're taking them out for disposal.
That'd work.
Yeah, but would they do that, or would they take them into...
Well, that's the thing. They'd probably just take them into
Put them in the
something
hatchery?
else. I'm more like, I want to sneak myself around here, and when you guys, like, if you can get up to this opening part, I still want to do some type of distraction, maybe set one of these things on fire, so that they're all busy with that so you can
Yeah.
get out.
Maybe, but I'm worried
Or,
that that's going to
or
cause
do we just
a
wolf
place-
spider and rope?
That would be my number one plan, is wolf, spider, and rope.
Let's just walk the fuck out.
Sounds good.
Let's just walk out. Let's not dilly-daddle, because that's going to be 6 people that can't support their weight trying to climb.
Yeah.
But I'm making an executive decision. We're walking out.
I can potentially carry them up the wall. They can just hang on or tie them on.
Yeah, let's just walk out.
Yeah, I'm walking my
It's
drawings
middle of the
out.
night. People are sleeping. I think we'll be fine. We'll save distraction if needed.
All right,
Maybe
is every-
2
I'd
groups
like
then?
to stealth up at least.
Can we walk out in
that's
2
fine.
groups instead of doing one big group of 12?
That's fine.
nice stealth.
Yay!
I'll definitely
I
lead
decided
with
not
the
to
half elf.
Okay, I'm walking out with my little drawings here.
Okay.
Who's with me? Who's with me in this group?
I'm
After
going to be
trying to
with
stealth
Keith.
and falling on my face, I decided to just be like, okay, I'll just walk out with you guys.
Okay. I'm going to stay with Keaton and the half-elf just in case we need a fast escape with our primary objective.
Okay.
Okay, where are you guys at? You guys aren't with us?
I'm still going with we have 2 groups. That way we don't look like a giant group of 12. We're just 5 to 6 man parties.
Okay, so
Yeah.
we're going to use your image for the second party?
The Clydesdale? That what you're talking about?
Yeah.
We're just
So the
walking
druid,
out.
the druid is the only one that
Sure,
has the image
I-
on here. Okay.
Oh,
I guess
that'll work.
Okay. So we're going out. We're going out.
So you guys are able to pretty much come up to the kobold tower, at which point one kobold kind of walks out and just says, "Where are you going?" in common.
Further raiding at the keep. I kind of yell to him in a low.
Right, he just nods and says, "Good bounty upon you," and walks back into his.
Hail Tiamat, I say, and do the thing.
And he responds in Draconic, "Hail Tiamat."
Okay. So we
So
keep
you-
walking.
Yep, so you guys get out of the mouth.
Yay.
So once that party gets out, where's the second party?
We don't exactly have drawings.
Yeah, so we're taking the exact same path.
Coming
Okay.
up, yeah, coming up from there.
Alright, so again, as you guys kind of approach that kobold area, a kobold comes out and he goes, What business have you?"
Night watch.
"Ha! No pity for you," and he just goes back into his guard tower.
They're like the worst paid kobolds ever.
They're kobolds. What do you expect?
Yeah. So I mean, as you guys, so all of you get out of the mouth of the cave. At this point, no alarm has been raised. So we're going to cut it off here. Next week, we will follow up with what happens as you leave. When you get back to the keep, that is when you'll become level 3. But you guys can preset your characters to level 3 over the off time.
Awesome.
It'll just be dialogue between here and then. So thanks for playing. Thanks everyone else for watching. Sorry again about the face boxes being messed up. That'll always be a frequent problem as long as we join at various times. So learn to live with it. Learn our faces. So we will see you all next week. And fun fact, there is a extra video you guys will be getting this week in which Cory DM'd a game of Sean, Aaron, and myself. Kind of a back in the day before this happened in the land of Flan. So you guys should check that out too. Till next time.